If you have a Karcher K2 pressure washer and it's doing this, then continue watching and I'll show you how to fix it using a few simple tools. So let's make a start.
So this is what happens when I come to use the pressure washer. I plug in the hose, then as soon as I switch on the machine, it starts without me pressing the trigger and water is coming out of the side of the casing. Here's a close-up of the issue. I'm going to need to remove the casing to see where the leak is coming from. Disconnect the hose pipe and ensure the power cable is unplugged. Then unscrew the high pressure hose from the front. Remove the two lancers from the back of the unit. There are then 7 T15 torque screws on the back which need to be unscrewed to release the rear casing. Once unscrewed, lay the pressure washer down on its front, then the casing should lift off like so. Lay down the back casing to the side. The detergent pickup hose should be long enough to allow this. You can see here there's so much water sprayed inside that it's difficult to see where it was coming from. I'm going to need to power it up with the cover off, so I'm going to remove the detergent pickup hose to get it out of the way. I was just checking there wasn't a plastic shuttle or ball in the tube. There isn't, so twist the tube and pull to remove it from the manifold. If you do sit it upright, make sure it doesn't fall out of the casing because there's nothing securing it in place. I've connected it back to power and attached the hose pipe, but it's no longer turning on. If I give it a little push on the pump casing, that made me jump. You can see where it's coming from now. Let me get a better angle. It looks like the high pressure elbow has a split in it. If I take it out of the casing, you can see it looks like it's pressure washing itself. To lift it out of the casing, remove the power cable from the side, then lift up, being careful not to snap the on-off switch stalk. This high pressure elbow twists 90 degrees to the side, then wiggle it to remove. I was struggling to get the camera to focus on this, but you can see there's a seam that runs down the middle. However, the leak is actually coming from a split here. There are 2 stamps which look like part numbers. However, this is the Karcher part number, 5.064-396. Looking on Amazon, there appear to be third-party companies making replacement parts as well. Make sure you order a replacement which includes an O-ring. Sometimes if the old O-ring is worn, when you buy a new part, it doesn't make a good seal and leaks. I ended up ordering mine off eBay from a company that sells genuine Karcher parts. This came with the following part number, 4.063-914.0. It also includes some silicone grease, which you'll need to apply to ensure the rubber O-rings make a good seal. If I compare them side by side, you can see the elbows have the same part numbers. The O-ring that needs replacing is here. When you get the pump out of the casing, take care with the on-off switch to ensure it doesn't snap. You'll need a small screwdriver or pick to get the existing O-ring off the manifold. Take care not to scratch or damage the plastic, otherwise the replacement O-ring might not make a good seal. Next, apply some silicone grease to the O-ring. Now attach it to the manifold. Now this next step isn't necessary to fix the water leak, but I'm intrigued as to why the pump only turned on during testing when I applied a little pressure to the pump casing. There are a few plastic tabs down the side which you can release using your fingers. The pump casing then lifts off like so. There doesn't appear to be anything obvious which would explain why pressing on the casing would make it power up. I'll have a look on the other side. Now there's a little plastic tab holding this to the side of the casing here. Just give it a pull to separate the two parts, like so. Again, nothing obvious. It looks in good condition and no loose or corroded connectors. I'm not going to investigate further at this stage. I'll see if this is a problem after putting it all back together. I'm clipping the pump back into the casing, making sure the capacitor and cables slot into their respective guides. Now everything is back where it should be, I'll attach the other half of the pump casing to make sure all of the clips are engaged. To attach the new elbow, push it onto the manifold, then twist 90 degrees so the pipe is facing in the opposite direction to the hosepipe connector. Line up the power switch and new elbow into the front casing, then make sure the pump is seated correctly in the plastic guides. The power cable slots into this upper channel like so. Get the rear cover, then reattach the detergent pickup hose if you removed it like I did. Pull the detergent hose through the rear casing to make sure it doesn't get trapped inside the case. Line up the two halves. It should slot into place with no gaps between the seams like so. Now screw in the 7 Torx screws. Final step is to test to see if the leak has stopped. I see there is a little play where the pump assembly flexes inside the casing like so. It does the same on this side, however I think this is by design as a dampener to try and prevent plastic parts from breaking. I've plugged the pressure washer into the mains, now I'll connect the hose pipe. Next I'll connect the high pressure hose. Now I'll turn on the water tap. Next, make sure there's no air in the system. Now I'll attach the lance tip. And finally turn on the pressure washer switch. And that's it, all good, no leaks.
Well guys, that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribing is free and it just means any future videos I release will automatically appear on your feed without you having to search for them. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you on the next video.